Hello my fellow garden gals and guys, welcome back to my channel, Serenity Now Garden. My name's Jeannie and I garden in central Minnesota in a zone 4B. So today we're going to be doing a September garden tour. I'm going to break this up into two parts. So today I'm going to take you around my whole entire backyard and I'll kind of show you everything new that we planted. Everything was still looking good right now. And next week I'll take you through my front and my side yard. Hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. All right, well, welcome my garden friends to the September garden tour, part one, just my backyard. This is probably the best it's gonna look this year. Well, it's just past its prime, I think, but we usually get first frost like around maybe October 12th through the 15th, somewhere in there. So it'll look a lot different in a few weeks. I'm just going to do a 360 here so you can kind of get a feel for where you're at, what you're looking at. There's my house there. So the lots are kind of narrow, but they go far back. Kind of show you. I've just kind of did a border all around my backyard here. Now in January of 2022, we got rid of a ton of invasive buckthorn, mostly back here. So a lot of, like, all this bed here was all buckthorn. So slowly we've been planting it up the last 2 years, trying to add some natives, and we still have a long way to go actually. This is my cut flower and veggie garden over here. This path leads into. The path is lined with Gomphrena. I just love Gomphrena. And there's some zinnias in there. The really tall plant that you're seeing is Amaranth. I'll show you a closer look in a minute. Let me start over here though. So I do have a juga in this bed a bit. I'll slowly take it out. I kind of just put that in as a placeholder so weeds didn't take over. But we have some plants that like a little bit of shade, like this clethra here and the sweet Kate Tradescanthia. And here's some Rajersia. This is a deer just kind of clipped the top of that plant off, but we do have, this is a columnar laced up elderberry. That'll get about 6 feet tall, about 2 feet wide. This bed gets kind of wet in the spring, so these elderberries seem pretty happy. This is a Sutherland gold elderberry. These could get up to 8 feet tall and wide, but I'm going to prune them in a tree form. They kind of remind me of Japanese maples, except they're a lot more resilient. Look at the color and the leaf structure. It's just gorgeous. I love it next to some of these plants like this dark hibiscus here. This is Mars Madness. And there's some Pye Weed back here. That's my neighbor's lot that has, that's just kind of brush right now. But this hibiscus, this Mars Madness, this is its first year and it has just been throwing off blooms for weeks. I am so happy with this plant. It gets 5 feet tall and it could get almost 7 feet wide. So it's loving it back here because it has a lot of moisture. We have some Siberian iris. I just added this coneflower. This is a sweet sandia, which means watermelon in Spanish. It has like a green edge to it. Very pretty. Very happy with that plant. I got, some Veronica that I never cut back, but I still think it looks cool, the structure. And here's the Gomphrena that's lining this bed. There's Ping Pong Purple is the short one, and the tall one I grew from seed, which is Atomic Purple. Isn't it gorgeous? I hope it gets a little more purple. We'll see. Also got some purple Prince zinnias just behind it there. Tons of zinnias in this bed. I got 5 different varieties. I've done many videos about my zinnias, so the last like 4 or 5 videos, you can watch any of those, and I think I give all the names if you're interested. But man, did they really draw the pollinators this year? Just tons of bumblebees, and it's a little garden path here. And I'm going to show you the amaranth. This is Dreadlocks amaranth in front. It's a good 7 feet tall, and I didn't even have to stake this. But can you guys imagine how gorgeous this is going to be once it's like dried out in like a fall pot, maybe on my front porch? I'll have to try that out. I'll make a video maybe in October showing you guys how that turned out. So fingers crossed. I did have to spray it because the deer started eating it. We also have some Love Lies Bleeding just behind that. It was a little bit shorter. But the veggie and cut flower garden, I have grass clippings in there for a mulch, and that's worked really well. Now here is the more formal bed. I just have regular brown mulch in here. This is a Dark Shadows Wicked coneflower I just planted a couple weeks ago. It's kind of past its prime. There's some Neon Burst Dogwood right there and Cheyenne Spirit just on its way out, coneflowers, but the finches will eat those seeds, or some will drop and reseed. We got some Liatris and Delphinium on its way out. This spirea that I love. It's Proven Winners Candy Corn. Love it. This is Raspberry Kismet coneflower. We got some pink Anise Hyssop or Agastache. That will end, this is first year, but it'll get like 5 feet tall. Here's some Blue Fortune on the left, Agastache. And one of my favorite perennials this year, this is Meadow Liatris, and it just attracted all of the monarch butterflies to my yard. I love it. I had to plant like 4 more this year. We got some Carl Forster grass. Look at that amaranth just towering over it. I love it. We got some tall Gateway Joe Pye Weed just next to that. Look at this spirea. It's a really cool leaf structure. This one's called Mellow Yellow. You guys know I love my gold plants. It really brightens up the area. Just next to this another Kismet coneflower. Raspberry. We got another Liatris, Meadow Liatris front and center there. And, just a few things. A lot of these are clearance plants. I just put in, and right down here, I love the contrast on this. This is Brocade Artemisia. It looks so pretty next to this pink Coreopsis. Really just brightens up this area. I'm going to have to add more of that this year, I think. Penstemon is just behind that. This is Merlot coneflowers. These have like a purple stem. Love the Meadow Liatris. This one's just on its way out. This one was first year, so these do spread a bit, but not too bad. And you could split the corms every 3 to 5 years. Another Meadow Liatris just next to this Garden Glow Dogwood. I love the feathery flowers. The Garden Glow Dogwood, though, is just really just brightens up this area. I'm very happy with this plant. Back here, I have 4 of these planted. These I got on clearance for $5 each. They're Snowball Bush viburnums, and they do get 6 by 6, but I am going to slowly prune these into tree form as they get bigger. And we also have like 4 or 5 gold 9 barks, just like this here. A couple different varieties like Festivus Gold, Darts Gold, Tiny Wine. This is an obedient plant. This will spread a bit. It's kind of on its way out, but it's just pretty. I did have to keep that sprayed from the deer, though. And we have a couple evergreens back here. This is a new area just next to the veggie garden, and my decorative gourds are just on their way out. I'm just going to pull the rest of this and just kind of building up the soil with the grass clippings and dead leaves. So this is a new area, all clearance plants. These I love. These have bloomed all season. I got these just for a couple of bucks each. These are pincushion flowers or Scabiosa. 4 of those right there. They really worked out well. These I got on clearance as well. They're starting to spread. Rose Marvel Salvia. You can get a few reblooms on those. Just next to this variegated tall garden phlox is Olympus. I got a couple clearance grasses back here. We'll see how they look next year. Nothing really much to look at this year. And we got a very crisp pagoda dogwood. So this needs to get established. It'll look better next year. This is a monkshood. This hasn't started blooming yet. This is my last bloomer back here. So I'll kind of put a picture up here of what it looks like. Almost looks like delphinium, but it blooms late fall and it likes some shade. This is a witch hazel. Really good native plant. Look at what it will look like in the fall. Get these little like wispy flowers. Kind of got a little crisp there too, but that'll get 15 by 15. I might prune that into a tree form. That's some false cypress there. A crisp hosta there. This area was just added as well, kind of letting it develop. There's a few clearance plants back here too. There's a grass that gets about 5 feet tall there. It's a miscanthus. We got some spirea. Look at this grass here. This is, I believe it's a carex actually. This is variegated. I got this for just a couple dollars. We'll see how it does. So far, I'm really liking it. This whole path back here is lined with this albo marginata hosta that was already on the property. I just kept splitting it and splitting it. Lined it back here, and this is our project for next year. I'm going to extend this path. It's going to wind back here. Kind of where that bench is, we'll kind of have it wind that way. There's some mosquitoes back here. And it might wind back the other way. We'll see how it goes. That'll be a spring project for me, but I'm really excited about planning that. So let's go back up towards the bed here. This area is like partial sun. Some Baptisia there. This is Monrovia's version of like a dwarf limelight. This is called Candy Apple Hydrangea. Just next to this Dancing Queen Hosta. I love Dancing Queen Hostas. They're so gorgeous. They get really bright gold. 9 bark gold. This iris here, this is a kaboom Siberian iris. This is a Sun King Aralia. It's one of my favorite shade plants. It really just brightens up the area. This is not a shrub. It's actually just a perennial that dies to the ground, but so pretty. More kaboom Siberian iris. We have a few crisp astilbe back here. This is a Sunseeker rainbow coneflower on its way out. My astilbes always get really crisp back here. It's just how it is. And look at, we have this new coneflower that the deer just chomped off the blossoms to. This was a ruby star. I didn't spray it. Didn't think I needed to. There's an Ivory Halo Dogwood that's just gorgeous. That'll get about 4 by 4. Gets red twigs in the fall. This is a Pink Frost Pye Weed. This is what the blooms will look like. First year and it was root bound, so it's looking kind of scraggly, but next year I think it'll be great. I love Pye Weed. Really tracks the pollinators too. I love this hosta as well. This one is a stained glass hosta, related to guacamole actually. And we have some Veronica back here. This got a lot taller than I thought it was going to be. I might have to move this to the back. This is First Love, just next to this calamint or calamintha. Really attracts the pollinators. We have some caladium, some coleus. This is an orange marmalade hosta. Love that hosta as well. It's just really bright, brightens up that area. And I added this caladium back here just to brighten up the area as well, and I think it did a really good job. Not sure what I'll do back here next year. We'll probably eventually put in some sort of perennial. Here's First Lady Veronica, white Veronica, very pretty. This is Aztec Gold Creeping Veronica, so we'll see, or Speedwell. We'll see how that looks next year. It's supposed to have little purple flowers. I believe this hosta is a paradigm. Got it for $1 on clearance at Walmart. And we have a cardinal flower right back here. You're supposed to let these go to seed and drop seeds, so that's what we're doing. But this was really pretty red, and it really attracted the hummingbirds this year. And this is its cousin, Great Blue Lobelia. Great fall bloomer, bluish purple flowers, and it likes a bit of shade and it likes moisture. Perfect for right back here. More Sun King Aralias and some pretty crisp astilbe. Slowly taking out some of the sajuga to plant more things like More of these coneflowers. Catmint that was really small that got huge this year. I think that's a Walker's Low. And this is how some of my Stilby ends up turning out. That's okay though. This is a Powwow Wildberry coneflower. Really pretty. More Dancing Queen Hosta just to brighten up the area. Just behind it here, this is a Firelight Hydrangea. Look at the blush color on this. So gorgeous. This is supposed to get like 6x6. And my favorite blue hosta here, this is a Halcyon. Very pretty. It's next to a Patriot. And this started out as a red coneflower. This is Sombrero Salsa, but it fades to this really pretty blush color. And we have some gold lamium. We'll see how that does. Thought it could brighten up this area. More crisp Stilby. Various plants back here, mostly hostas. We have viburnums. We have native elderberry. Really happy with how this side turned out. We just started this last year, so this was all buckthorn. Hard to believe. Trying to establish some privacy so the viburnum kind of has to grow in. That big green hosta there, that's a humpback whale. That might get up to 7 feet across, believe it or not. Might have to move some of those hostas next to it. We'll see though, because there's a lot of shallow maple roots here, and I don't think it's going to grow to its full potential, but these two hostas are gorgeous. In the front is Ben Vernoy, and in the back is Rainbow's End. Really pretty. Just love the variegation. It's really eye-catching from afar as well. I'll just show you a couple of hostas here. This is just part of my hosta garden. I'll kind of touch more on it next year. Here's some creeping Jenny. I love the way it looks next to these hostas in the shade, but it will spread. So if you want something low maintenance, don't plant this because you do have to pull it out regularly. There's a Montana. It's kind of chewed up a bit this year, unfortunately, but very pretty. This is Brother Stefan and that creeping Jenny next to it. Looks so cool. Really brings out the gold. And this is one of my favorites. This is Rainbow Sunshine. And we can't forget about Crassa Regal. This one's vase-shaped. Will get pretty big. Kind of bluish. Very pretty. So up this hill, I will show you next time. This is supposed to get 85 inches across. I don't think it's going to get that big, but this one's called First Snow. And look at this is elegance. It got really dried out because I didn't stay on top of my watering. It got to be a couple days of 100-degree temperatures. So like I said, we'll touch more on this side next week on my part 2, my whole side yard, and I'll go up to the front. Here's a little island here. I have a couple hostas. It's very hard to get things to grow because of all the shallow maple roots, but this is an Earth Angel hosta, so it's like a variegated blue angel with gold variegation. This is Twin Cities hosta. I got that on clearance. It was just a dinky little guy a couple months ago. More Albo marginata. And I just planted some ajuga here because hardly anything else will grow, and I just kind of want something to grow in to drown out any weeds. Let my irises get a little dried out over here, but they'll be fine next year. Let me show you close to my house here. I never show you this side. It's a work in progress. We have only tough plants could be planted up here. So we have Millennium Allium, a couple different types of sedum, and Penstemon. Millennium Allium's on its way out. This is Brilliant sedum or stonecrop. Very pretty with the powdery pink blooms. The Millennium Allium, like I said, are spent blooms, but I just kind of keep it on there for some winter interest. Penstemon, I believe that's Midnight Masquerade. We have Night Ember sedum, more alliums, more night embers, more penstemon, and then another brilliant sedum. I have a little seeding area here and more mosquitoes. And I just put that clearance grass in. It'll get 5 feet tall. I believe that's a miscanthus. So here's a golden curls willow over here. Let me just show you excuse my hells, I always have it out, but this is a showy mountain ash, one of my favorite trees. It'll get 20 by 20. It has white blossoms in the spring, and look at these gorgeous orange berries in the fall. Late summer, early fall. And over here is kind of a work in progress as well. I'm not sure what I want to do with this area. It needs some taller plants next to the house, I feel. But there's some autumn joy sedum. It's really starting to attract the pollinators right now. As you could see there, I think there's a bumblebee sleeping. Just starting to open next to, this is neon. This is actually a sport of brilliant sedum. We got the air conditioner and some tall garden phlox over there. Got like 60 bags of mulch because it was on sale for $2 each. So might save that till spring. Don't know yet, but I do want to put that garden path in and back. My neighbor's yard there, and I just have some just regular lilacs over here. They always get this fungal issue in the late fall, but they're still going strong. So one last look of my September garden. I might do just like a little highlight reel in October, just showing you a couple things that still look good. Maybe that monkshood will be blooming by then. But yeah, one last look. Thank you guys so much. This has been an awesome year. I'll have a couple more videos this year, then I'll take a break for the winter. But look at that. I just love this view right here. So happy gardening, my friends. Take care, and I'll see you next week for part 2.